From where do we come? Where do we go? What is the aim of life? The meaning of death? Why do we suffer? And how do we love? What is the way to the Absolute? Since ancient times, humanity has expressed its yearning for the divine with different, distinguished traditions, each one offering answers to the unsolved riddles of the human condition, each one interpreting that sense of a hidden power behind the course of events. 50 years ago, the Catholic Church honored those differences with a bold idea that other religions often reflect rays of the truth. And that in our times, all religions must be in dialogue, respecting each other, trusting each other, working together for the common good. Those were the intentions of Nostra Aetate, but how far have we come in putting those words into effect? What has been Nostra Aetate's echo from Rome and to the world?
La dichiarazione Nostra Aetate è stata una svolta epocale nei rapporti tra il mondo cristiano, cattolico in particolare, e il mondo ebraico. All'inizio c'è stata un po' di incertezza, perché soprattutto il mondo ebraico non aveva capito la portata del fenomeno, ma faccio l'esempio di una diga in cui viene fatto un buchino da cui comincia a uscire un po' d'acqua, ma poi dopo un po' il buco si allarga e la diga crolla. Ecco, penso a questa immagine per spiegare l'impatto della Nostra Aetate.
Here is the great revolution that Nostra Aetate brings, one of the greatest revolutions of the 20th century, where a language that was often used to promote contempt, judgment, bad relationship, is transformed into a language that teaches respect, collaboration, and fraternity, fraternal relations with those who do not share our belief. The real revolution whose fruits we continue to reap.
It has been inspirational, this change, because religious solidarity is so very important in the world. We have a lot of secular solidarity, and we still have to have religious solidarity.
I do think we were living dialogue even before Nostra Aetate. But Nostra Aetate gave a big stamp of approval, gave a sense of direction, gave guidelines, and encouraged everybody, encouraged the average Indian Catholic to say, well, we must go together, work together. What we've been doing so far, now we must do it formally. I think in that sense, it did give a big push.
Those of us Catholics who are involved in interreligious dialogue and have been involved for a while have very good friends who are Buddhist monks or Hindu monks or nuns. And that's certainly one of the big differences. We don't have to kind of tiptoe around one another now. We can be just very much at ease with one another.
I told him I very much love
what we're there for is to listen to the other. We're listening to discover how one goes about a search for that ultimate we call God, and which other religions may have other ways of expressing.
let's step back for a minute and imagine the beginnings.
Nostra Aetate.
Nostra Aetate didn't come with a manual. Pope Paul VI could only hope for what followed. Religious leaders from around the world, with their different backgrounds, beliefs, and experience, in dialogue. Today, that legacy lives on.
Nuestra misión es la de animar para seguir promoviendo un diálogo que a veces se piensa que se haga desde aquí, desde Roma, pero el auténtico diálogo es el diálogo que se hace en la vida cotidiana, en las comunidades locales, a nivel local. Es allí en donde el diálogo en las relaciones humanas de respeto y de amistad, como nos propone el Papa Francisco, es en donde se realiza y se actúa.
Difference is not a threat, but it's a chance. So it means that you take time to look at the other person you have in front of you, or the other reality you have in front of you. I am very pleased to see that all around the world there are many initiatives regarding interreligious dialogue, but we have the duty to harmonize all these initiatives. And the Holy Father, Pope Francis, is very interested in interreligious dialogue.
Mutual esteem, cooperation, and indeed friendship.
Years ago, when he was Archbishop of Buenos Aires, he came to see me and asked me the address of an institute where a priest of Buenos Aires could go and learn Arabic language in order to be able to know better the Muslim reality.
Chacun de nous doit profiter de cette trajectoire pour approfondir, d'une part, les relations avec l'autre, parce que c'est une chance de rencontrer des gens différents. Ce n'est pas, et ça c'est très 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 important, on découvre soi-même, sa propre identité à travers l'autre. Et ça, c'est un phénomène extraordinaire. Et ceux qui ne vont pas vers l'autre, peut-être, ils ne se connaissent même pas eux-mêmes.
If we consider, for example, that Muslims and Christians together make more than one half of humanity, we realize the immense task. Then, that religion is essential to the human person. If you take any person seriously, you will have to take that person's religion into consideration.
It doesn't mean we agree with them all. It doesn't mean that we look for some kind of negotiated settlement between different faiths. It does mean that someone coming to us from another tradition with deep, serious religious conviction is somebody we are obliged to listen to in God's name, and to welcome and seek to understand better so that we may understand ourselves better.
We are not creating one particular religion, but we are trying to be what we are. We are trying to be faithful what we are. That's interreligious dialogue. It is not, all religions are the same. We have similarity, that's the same. No, they are not the same. Human world needs different roads to have peace in their mind and in their hearts.
If God relates to us in all our diversity, there must be diverse ways of relating to God. And the very idea that any one tradition can encapsulate the totality of the divine should be ridiculous for a person of faith.
When you encounter the other with a sense of the divine in her or his life, from a different tradition that is not your own particular tradition, you are getting a further glimpse of the divine within the world. And therefore, interreligious dialogue for me is not only countering bigotry and prejudice, not only working for a shared agenda, it's actually a religious enrichment in and of itself.
I always remember echoing in my mind is that throw open the windows. It's suffocating in here. Of Pope John the 23rd, that sentiment that really We need to go out into the world. Here, of course, it's dangerous. We live in a dangerous world. We don't live in a friendly neighborhood. And yet at the same time, I think that if we don't go out and engage with our Jewish brothers and sisters, with our Muslim brothers and sisters, we will die of suffocation. We are called not only to smile and make polite conversation, but bear witness to the values that we believe in.
I can tell you with confidence today there is a crisis of identity among the youth, and they represent more than 60% of the society in the region. The crisis of identity is not in religion only, or nationalism, or on homeland, but on what is for me in this world. Who am I in this life? What comes next? If unemployment, poverty, hardship, people are pushed to go to the darkness. And our mission has been and will continue to be, hopefully, to awaken them to the gray area, then to the light, by education, by communication, by understanding, not only in terms of the holy texts and the interpretation, but what is for you as a human being, the values of a human being.
Ci deve essere un insegnamento, un background che fornisce materiale ideologico a questi fanatici, e questo deve essere discusso, deve essere argomento del dialogo interreligioso, per mostrare che la religione non è soltanto uno strumento di guerra, ma deve essere innanzitutto un luogo dove la propria esperienza di fede diventa un'esperienza di costruzione dell'uomo nella sua completezza. Ecco, non dobbiamo assolutamente cedere alla paura. Parlare di guerra e di religione significa dare ragione, dare l'ultima parola a chi ha paura.
If really we believe in God, the way we conceive Him to be as God Almighty, then God doesn't need our energy and power and strength. The Almighty God can, in His power, do everything He wants to do. So what God needs is not, fighters, but what He needs is witnesses. Witnesses of His love, witnesses of His goodness, and witnesses of His desire for life and human person.
To my mind, dialogue is a sort of preventive medicine rather than curative. Preventive medicine in the sense that you are trying through dialogue to build up solid relations between communities that have differences, the differences of ethnic origin, perhaps also of difference of religion, and create a solid friendship between these groups so that they will not be influenced from outside and come into blows together.
Belonging to the common situation of humanity, we have a lot to work on together. And we can tap our respective faith or religious energies and traditions in order to respond to the common needs of humanity. For example, in Asia, we see a lot of natural disasters and calamities, earthquakes, tsunamis, typhoons, suffering. It has a human face. You don't even ask, is this victim a Buddhist? Is this victim a Hindu? Is this victim a Christian? No. You see a brother, you see a sister. And from your religious tradition, you respond.
That's why not only in the Catholic Church, in the United Nations Declaration and all practical democratic republics, they say each one is free to choose his or her own religion and to practice and to propagate and to have that freedom of religion. You are respecting that dignity of humanity. And I feel the most important challenge for us today, as violence increased, perseverance in charity is the most challenging one.
We can just begin by facing problems of society in the village, in the quarter of the city, the handicapped, the unemployed young people, the old people. When we engage in tasks together, very soon we begin to love each other and understand each other better. If then there comes a time when we can discuss religious problems, well and good. But we don't have to. You don't need professors in order to have interreligious dialogue. What you need are human beings who have willing hearts. When the hearts meet, sometimes later on the heads also meet.
Come si può vivere senza il dialogo in un mondo globalizzato, in un mondo in cui ci sono popolazioni intere che si spostano o volontariamente per motivi di lavoro o altro, o forzatamente per le persecuzioni in atto in vari punti del mondo, e che forzatamente vengono a trovarsi a convivere con persone di etnie diverse, di culture diverse, di opinioni diverse, di fedi diverse.
Tenemos que promover un diálogo que esté basado, yo diría, en una nueva narrativa.
Part of the Holy Child program is that when we accept a child, we accept the whole family. You have Muslim and Christian women working together, and there are no differences. When your children have problems, you're all on the same page. As the women get to know each other more, they begin to really form natural supports and bonds.
Se la natura stessa, che è di una sapienza e intelligenza, che tutto il nostro sforzo è solo scoprire e decodificare l'intelligenza della natura, se la natura stessa sceglie la donna come colei che porterà e offrirà la vita, questo già ci insegna e ci dà il messaggio del ruolo fondamentale della donna nella vita umana, sociale, familiare e anche nelle religioni.
Interreligious relations now affects all levels of student life at a university. We think this is essential in the world today to aim at interreligious understanding. Not so much dialogue. Dialogue's important and it's a tool, but to try to understand issues from an interreligious point of view, how it is understood from a variety of perspectives depending on the religious traditions. That's an important value, and I think it's important for our School of Foreign Service, for people going into the diplomatic corps and international relations. It's important for people in all walks of life.
Religion is not a certain time of history. It belongs to human nature. Interreligious dialogue is a condition of life for tomorrow. Because otherwise we shall have a world formed by blocks. And of course this is not what God wants. So if we are aware of being one family, we must be together, help each other, understand each other, in order that the love prevail over hatred and indifference.
לנשמות אחינו ואחיותינו נפגעי הטרור
Nosotros hoy somos invitados a decir no a todo intento uniformante y sí a una diferencia aceptada y reconciliada. Para eso necesitamos desterrar de nosotros sentimientos de odio, de venganza, de rencor. Y sabemos que eso solo es posible como un don del cielo. Aquí en este lugar de la memoria, cada uno a su manera, pero juntos, les propongo hacer un momento de silencio y oración. Pidamos al cielo el don de empeñarnos por la causa de la paz. Paz en nuestras casas, en nuestra familia, en nuestras escuelas, en nuestras comunidades. Paz en esos lugares donde la guerra parece no tener fin. Paz en esos rostros y lo único que han conocido ha sido el dolor. Paz en este mundo vasto que Dios nos va a dar como casa de todos y para todos. Tan solo paz. Oremos en silencio.